Let's see. Are we live? See if TikTok got us live. We are live on Instagram. Good morning, Instagram. As y'all coming in, shout yourselves out in the comment section. Hope everybody's having a great week so far. What day is today? Wednesday. Is it Wednesday? Yes, Wednesday. Hope everybody's having a good day. TikTok is live as well. We're making sure TikTok's working. Facebook is live. Facebook, Work on Your Game University, by the way. Instagram is Dre Baldwin, and this one is TikTok. TikTok is Work on Your Game. So we got different names on every platform. As y'all coming in, shout yourselves out. What's up, Tyrone? Call him. Call Tyrone. Good morning, Tyrone. Shout out to you. Thanks for coming in with the first comment. As y'all come in, shout yourselves out. Tell me your name and location. We're about to get started in 30 seconds. We're going to talk about the outreach game here today. We're going to talk about the outreach game, getting your name, your image, and likeness out there to the people who need it. As y'all coming in, yeah, call. As y'all coming in, shout yourselves out. TikTok, if y'all on TikTok watching this, shout yourselves out. TikTok, we're having these, the numbers on TikTok go up. They fluctuate greatly, but there's not even that many comments, even though it says all these people are watching. So if you're on TikTok, shout yourselves out. Let me know you're actually watching this live on TikTok right now. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, former 9-year pro athlete, author of 35 books, done 4 TEDxTalks, created this whole brand called Work on Your Game. What we do here is we take the tools to help athletes get to the top of the sports world. We translate those tools to the business world to help professionals like you perform at your highest level, do so consistently, and make more money in your business. That is what our focus is. So if that's what you're looking for, any of these 3 things, or maybe all 3, you are in the right place. You're talking to the right person, and you are the right person. What we want to talk about here today is your outreach game. Now, the reason the outreach game matters so much is because these days, one of the things that you can do is reach out to other people who are very accessible and usually very easy to find with whom you can collaborate. Now, see, my background is as an athlete, and in the sports world, our game is to compete, is to beat all of our opponents. So you got to beat everybody to win in sports, right? That's what it is. It's competition. It's the what's the word? It's the the word is missing. The essence of competition is sports, because there's a scoreboard, there's a winner, there's a loser in almost every competition. In business, on the other hand, though, it's collaboration. In business, you don't want to try to beat everybody. There are some competitors you want to try to beat. But in general, in business, a lot of times you want to try to collaborate. You want to work with other people in business because that gives you an opportunity to team up with other people. You can use some of their resources and knowledge. They can use yours, and everybody wins because you can make more money. The other business can make more money, and the customers get more of what they want because y'all are working together. And you'll notice this a lot in businesses. It happens so often that you may not even notice, but it's integrations that happen in businesses. For example, right here in my building, for example, they sent us an email last week that said now they have a Tesla that's available for rent, and you can just rent the Tesla. You just go on some app that you get, and the Tesla is sitting in the parking garage somewhere. You do something on the app, and then you can get access to the car. It's like $24 an hour or something like that, or you can pay like $200. You can rent the car for the whole day. It's an integration because this building is not a Tesla building, but they got access to that car, and they're integrating. I bet every time that somebody rents that car from whoever the company is that has access to the car, the building collects a little bit of money from that. That's an integration. Or you see like around the corner from where I live, they're working on right now, they're building a restaurant. It's a pizza shop and a burger shop, 2 different businesses. It's like BurgerFi is one of the businesses. Some of y'all probably know BurgerFi. And there's another place called Anthony's Pizza, which is, I've seen it in South Florida. I don't know if they're outside of here, but they're integrating. They're going to have one shop with both of them in the same place. That's an integration. Or you remember when KFC and Taco Bell, they first started having stores together. That's an integration. That's a collaboration. That they could compete, but they also decided to collaborate. So in business, you want to look for ways to collaborate with your contemporaries or your peers. You don't even have to call them competitors, but to collaborate with them, and everybody can do more business. Because now I can go to that shop over there, and if I want some pizza, I can get pizza. But if I want a burger, I can also get a burger. Maybe I want both. So there's a way for us to collaborate instead of just looking for ways to compete. Also in business, when there are other people, let's say if you're doing something like this, you can collaborate with other people. Like you see people write books together. You see people do live events together. Instead of I do an event and you do an event at the same time and we're competing, instead, why don't we just do an event together? So all your fans will find out about me and all my fans will find out about you. And we can all win at the same time. You see this a lot of times on podcasts, for example. When I appear on somebody else's podcast, My fans will find out about it because I'm going to share the episode, and that person's fans find out about me because they see me on that show that they already know about. So these are forms of collaboration. I'm sharing all that to help you all understand that in order to do these collaborations, one thing you have to do is actually communicate with the people who you want to collaborate with. You can't wait for them to come find you. You got to go find them sometime. So I'm going to tell you 3 keys, 3 secrets here that you can use to step up your collaboration game. And if anybody has a question or anything that I say while I'm talking here, we're only going to go about 15 minutes. So leave the question or comment while I'm talking, and I'll go through and I'll respond to them when I get through my point. So if you have a question or comment, just leave it while I'm talking. Number 1, stepping up your outreach game is you got to step up your activity. You got to step up your activity. You can't just sit around and wait for people to find you or hope that they find you. You got to go and get found. You got to go get found by the people who you want to reach by letting them know, hey, here I am. Here's what I'm doing. Here's what I have to offer. Here's why I think we should work together. I do this all the time. So over here at Work on Your Game, I want to let you all know. At Work on Your Game, every single day, we do outreach. Every single day, I'm reaching out to people who I don't know, but I know what they're doing. I can see what they're doing. And I see that there's something that I could offer that could help them. And we reach out. And my assistant helped. We got a whole process for this, but I do some parts of it. My assistant does the rest of it. And we reach out to them, let them know, hey, here's Dre. Here's what I'm doing. Here's what you're doing. And here's where we see how we can possibly work together. Now, does everybody say yes or respond to this? No. But the people who do respond, we end up doing business together. We end up doing things together to where, again, their audience benefits, my audience benefits, and both of us get to win in that situation because we're collaborating and working together. So the essence of business, especially in the world that we're in today, is the collaboration. And the good thing about the world that we're in today, folks, is that it's very easy to find people to collaborate with because all of us are on social media. All of us are trying to get seen. We're all trying to get attention. So we make ourselves very visible. We make ourselves very findable. So it used to be, you know, that movie back in the day called 6 Degrees of Separation, which basically said between you and another person is only 6 degrees you got to go through to try to connect with them directly. These days, not even 6 degrees. Now it's like 3 degrees, sometimes only 2 degrees of separation between you and another person because everybody's on the internet. Almost everybody's on the internet. And even if people are not on the internet, there's probably someone who knows that person. So you're only looking at like 3 degrees of separation to reach pretty much anybody you want to reach. So activity, as long as you step your activity up, you're giving yourself more opportunities to be successful when it comes to connecting. So yeah, 6 degrees of separation, Kevin Bacon, right? But it's not even 6 degrees anymore. Now it's like, again, it's like 3 degrees of separation. So somebody needs to make a new movie. Number 2, we're talking here about how to step up your outreach game. Number 2 thing you need to do is positioning. What does positioning mean? Positioning is about how you talk about yourself, how you present yourself, and thus how people are going to perceive you. And so that they know what you're about and they have an idea of who you are and what you represent in the marketplace. That's called positioning. So for example, anybody who's been following me for more than, let's say it's 2014, 2024. So you've been following me for 10 years or more. I don't know if anybody here is in that group, but you've been following me for 10 years or more. You've known about me for 10 years or more. All my material 10 years ago was just basketball. I was just talking about basketball and working on your basketball game. It's still work on your game, but now it's more business and mindset and strategy. But back then it was just basketball athletics. And I was positioned as this guy who could help you learn how to play basketball if you just watch these drills and get these programs and stuff like that. So 2013, exactly. So back then it was just basketball. I was talking about mindset too, but it was mostly basketball material. And that was my positioning at the time. So if you heard the name Dre Baldwin or you Googled me in 2013, you will find a whole bunch of stuff talking about basketball. You will say, all right, obviously this guy's a basketball player. He focuses on basketball. And if you want to learn basketball, here's a guy you watch. That was my positioning back then. My positioning now is, if you're watching this on video, you see this ain't basketball gear that I'm wearing. I mostly talk about business. I have a lot of entrepreneurs in my world. I got athletes in my world still, but mostly they're here for the mindset stuff, the strategy stuff, the system stuff, the business stuff, and maybe some of the basketball material that I still sell to this day. The thing is, I changed my positioning. And the way I changed my positioning is not because the world decided to think something differently of me, is because I decided to change the way I was presenting myself. So you hear the word represent. You know that word represent? Let's break that down. What does it mean? It means to represent whatever you want to present. So if you want to change your positioning, understand it doesn't matter what other people think. What matters is what you are showing them, because what you show people is how they perceive you, and how they perceive you is what they're going to think about you. So if you want to change the conversation that other people are having about you, All you have to do is change the way you are putting yourself out to the world, and other people will perceive that. They'll see, okay, this person obviously is talking about sports. Okay, then when you come around again, oh, you represent yourself. Oh, this guy's talking about business. This guy's talking about mindset. This guy's talking about strategy. Okay, that's what he is. Now let's be clear. All of you are familiar with the saying that it only takes one time to make a first impression. And first impressions are hard to break, right? So here's the key to that. If you come out one way and people have this certain perception of you, if you want to change that perception, understand that you have to do some work to change the way people see you, which means you got to be consistent in the new way so that people can pick up on it and understand, okay, this is who this guy is now. So if you would have watched some of my material from 10 years ago, you would have saw the basketball stuff. And if I just popped up one day randomly with a suit on talking about business, you would have said, Dre, you're a basketball guy. Why are you talking about business? You're a basketball guy. What is this? And when I first started talking about business stuff, I would get sometimes people would comment and say, well, Dre, I thought you were talking about basketball. Why are you talking about business? I would get those comments sometimes on what's the website? YouTube. They would say, well, Dre, I thought this was a basketball channel. You're talking about business stuff and things like that. Where is this coming from? So at first people didn't get it. But as I got more consistent and I kept consistently talking about business stuff and strategy stuff and system stuff, people got the point and said, okay, I see, Dre, you have transitioned from being this guy to being this guy. So the consistency matters. So if you want to change the way that people see you, then you have to be consistent in the new way so that people can come to accept that this is a real thing. It's not just a one-off. It's not just a one-time thing that you just came up with out of nowhere. So that consistency does matter. And this is positioning. Again, when it comes to your brand, everybody, your personal brand, your business brand, whatever you want to call it, is the way people see your brand is based on the way you choose to present yourself. Because again, people can't see something in you that doesn't exist. They can only see what you show them. So if you want people to see things differently in you, then you have to show them things that are different. It's on you to determine what your brand is going to be. Your brand is just the way people see you and is based on what you show. So if I show you a guy wearing a suit every day talking about business, then you're going to assume that's who I am. Most of us do not take the time to do a deep dive into another person to figure out, are they lying to us? Is this who they really are? Usually we just accept people how they present themselves. We look at people on the surface and we accept it. Why? Because we are not that focused on other people. We're more focused on ourselves than we are anyone else, which means people will accept whatever you tell them, but you got to tell them. You got to tell them what it is. That's your positioning. Your positioning determines how, again, what people think about you and whether they believe what you're doing matters to them or not. Okay, so someone who's not really focused on business or the type of stuff that I talk about, they're going to look at this, they're going to say, all right, that's not for me, and they're going to move on. And someone who is focused on it, they're going to say, okay, let me see what this guy's talking about. Maybe it's something that I need to hear. So your positioning, again, is very important. And the good news about positioning is it's a choice. You can choose your positioning anytime you want. Number 3, we're talking here today about how to step up your outreach game. Third thing you need to do is bring new blood into your space. New blood means you need to always be filling up your pipeline. Everybody here familiar with the concept of the pipeline? Pipeline is something that comes from, obviously it comes from actual pipes, like pipes, water goes through pipes so it can get to your house or your apartment. Oil goes through pipes, that kind of piping. But when we talk about in business, we're talking about a pipeline means you always have new people to reach out to and new people to talk to so you can give yourself more opportunities to do more business. So in the sales world, for example, you always hear salespeople talk about you always want to keep your pipeline full, which means you always want to be bringing in new prospects, new people to call, new people to follow up with, new people to close on a deal. You always want to keep the pipeline full. So every day when you show up to your office or you open your computer, you got a bunch of people who you can call who you are working on to try to close sales, because when you make sales, then you make money. So you always want to keep the pipeline full. You never want to have an empty pipeline in business. So when it comes to your outreach game, it's the same thing. You never want to have an empty pipeline. You want to keep your pipeline full by consistently adding new people to the pipeline. So just 2 days ago, is Wednesday, I'm recording this. So on Monday, I sent my assistant like 35 new leads of people who we could possibly collaborate with. I just send her the leads. She knows what to do with them. She puts them into what we call a CRM, which is basically a software that just allows you to manage your conversations that you're having with people. She puts them all into the CRM, and then we start our process of reaching out to these people. And we got different things that we do with each person, but we have follow-up process. We got steps that we follow and all these things that we do so we can start reaching out. The whole point is we want to keep the pipeline full. The reason I sent her all those leads is because we want to keep the pipeline full. We don't want to just sit around and hope that somebody recognizes me or finds me randomly on Google. We want to make sure people know about us because we're letting them know. Like, I'm here. This is what I'm doing. This is what we got. This is why we should work together. That's reaching out for the pipeline. So we do that for collaboration. We do it when it comes to speaking gigs. We do it when it comes to coaching business. We do it when it comes to even selling these books. We always want to keep the pipeline full and always keep working on your pipeline, because different people are at different stages. So you may have some people in your pipeline who are ready to say yes right now, today. So they're like right there, almost ready to be closed. Then you got some people who are in the middle. They're consuming, they're looking, they're evaluating. Maybe they will say yes at some point, but they're not ready yet. They might not be ready for 6 months, but you got to keep them in the pipeline and keep working on them. Then you have people at the beginning of the pipeline. Maybe you just put them in. Maybe you just heard about them. Maybe they just heard about you. They just came in and they're just evaluating from the outside. They're just trying to get a feel for what you're about and if they're even interested at all. And not everybody who goes in the pipeline is going to come out of the pipeline. Some people don't get to the bottom of the funnel because it's just not for them. And that's okay. That's the reason why you keep the pipeline full, because not everybody you put in is going to come out. In other words, not everybody you try to sell your product to is going to buy your product. Because if that was the case, then we probably wouldn't have to work as much as we do. But nobody bats 100%. So you got to keep filling up the pipeline with new people. And ideally, you're looking for the right type of people. You have a process for who you want to identify, who you want to reach out to. So you're putting the right type of people in the pipeline so your percentages go up. But the whole point is you got to be consistent with this. You got to be consistent in this game in order to, again, step up your outreach game and find new people. And just remember something in business, folks, you never want to just be sitting on your hands hoping to get found. You need to do things to make yourself seen, heard, and known by people who you might want to do business with. Again, this can be customers, this can be clients, this can be collaborators. It doesn't just have to be people you're trying to collaborate with or people you're trying to sell to. It should be a combination of both. You want to be reaching out and communicating with both types of people all the time. This is an ongoing job. So if you're not going to be doing it, somebody better be doing it in your business. I don't care how successful a business is. They are every business. I don't care how much money a person is making. I guarantee you, every single person you ask who does business, ask the most successful business person you know, how much do you pay attention to the pipeline and always bringing new people into your place? I guarantee you all of them will say that's like the most important thing in business. Every single one of them. I don't care if they're making $50,000 a year, they're making $5 million a month. You have to be doing this in your business. So let me recap these 3 points. If anybody got a question or comment, go ahead and post it and then we'll wrap this up. So stepping up your outreach game. Number 1, activity. Means you need to be active in letting people know that you exist. You need to be active in finding new people that you want to reach out to. Do not sit around and hope that people find you. It's great when people find me. Like when I get a DM or something, or my assistant reaches me and says, hey, somebody reached out and said they want you to come speak at this conference, or somebody comes and gets into our university and I didn't even know who they are. That's amazing. That's a great day. But you can't sit around and wait for that to happen, because if you just wait for those, they're too few and far between. So you got to go and actually make these happen. Number 2 is positioning. How are you putting yourself out there to the world, and how do you want to be perceived? What do you want people to think about when they see you, or when they hear you, or when they find you on social media, or if one of their friends tells them about you? What do you want them to say about you? That's your positioning, and you need to be intentional about how that's working. And number 3, new blood. Always be bringing new people into your space. Do not get complacent with what you already have. Always keep filling up your pipeline. Don't think that people are just going to keep finding you. You need to be active in making sure that whatever amount of time you're always adding new people. So in our space, we have quotas. Like, I want to be adding this many new people to the pipeline every week or every day or whatever it is we're doing. You cannot just sit around and hope that, again, it happens. This needs to be done intentionally and consciously in your business. So with all that said, anybody got a question or comment, go ahead and post it right now. I didn't see any come through while I was talking here. And so while I'm waiting for that, I'll give you all like 30 seconds. If you have not yet checked out Work on Your Game University, that's the place where I do all my coaching. The website is workonyourgameuniversity.com. That's where I do all my coaching. That's where our focus is right now. So all our coaching, consulting, our programs, our courses, all of that happens at workonyourgameuniversity.com. You want to work with me directly, you want to have me as your direct coach, that is the only way that it happens. We make it very simple. So right there on that site, you can see the layout of our program. You can see what we're doing. You can see some examples of people we have worked with up to this point. And you can schedule a time to get on a call with us so we can figure out where you're at, what you want, what you feel like might be in your way. And if we feel like we can help you, we feel you'd be a good fit for what we're doing, we'll tell you how it works and how to get started. Again, that's all at workonyourgameuniversity.com. If you're on Instagram, you can just comment the word game. Facebook, you can also just comment the word game, GAME, and we'll start a conversation with you in the DMs. TikTok, we don't have that. You can actually comment the word game as well, because my assistant watches the DMs on TikTok. So TikTok is not quite as advanced when it comes to what we can do as IG and Facebook are, but we are, as you can see, I'm active on TikTok doing these lives on here as well. What else? You want to get any of our books? You can just send me a DM. I'll send you a link to get any book. We got a bunch of books, as you can see. We got The Third Day. That's my probably the most popular book right now is The Third Day, The Decision That Separates the Pros from the Amateurs. We got The Mirror of Motivation, which you see right here. We got my book, Work on Your Game, of course. We got If You Play Basketball, Overseas Basketball Blueprint. This right here is called the Bulletproof Bulletin. That's my monthly magazine that I send out to all members of our university. So if you're a member of the university, we send you a physical mailing every single month, physically to your doorstep. Every month we send a physical mailing. The February issue of the Bulletproof Bulletin is this right here. Topic is clarity. And we tell you a couple things that are inside, but every month we send one of these out and we send this to your physical mailbox. It's not a PDF. It's not an email. We physically mail this to you every single month. This is just the cover of the February issue of our Bulletproof Bulletin. Then every month we also send this book out called The Black Book. This is where we transcribe all of our masterclass episodes. We put this again into a book and we mail this to you as well. As you can see, the latest issue of The Black Book, I think this is about 378 pages, 360 pages for The Black Book. Again, this is every month to members of the university. You got to be a member of the university to get this. You can't get this any other way. So again, that's workonyourgameuniversity.com. Question from Instagram. Relentless Wealth says, thank you, Dre, for this timely message as a sales representative in the mortgage tech space. You are right on time. It's divine purpose that you deliver this message. That's right. There's also divine purpose, Relentless Wealth, that you get into Work on Your Game University. So we got two divine purposes happening at the same time. All right, everybody, we are wrapping this up right now. I got an interview, as a matter of fact. Speaking of collaborations, I got an interview at 10 o'clock. It's 9:15. I'm going to take my son for a walk. I'm going to eat some food, and then we are back to business. So everybody have a great day. Work on your game. We out of here.